In this video, everyone, Reggie, our lovely Rover 75, goes for a drive. As we drive along on a beautiful sunny day on some lovely country roads in Derbyshire, I thought we'd go through the life of this car since it joined the channel. I owned this Rover 75 Connoisseur for about 3.5 years. And in those 3.5 years, whilst Reggie hasn't done many miles, it certainly had a lot of money spent on it. Now, of course, you're welcome to be watching the video and think, well, you're mad to be spending the money that I'm going to be saying in a minute, but it's my choice, and it's called the semi-retirement home for cars. We say on the channel that it's a place that cars come to be cared for and improved upon, and that's exactly what we did with this car. So, when I purchased Reggie from a passionate owner, to be fair, there was a few problems on previous MOTs as advisories. So one of my first jobs, of course, was to get all those advisories done, which we did. But then, me being me, of course, we started spending a lot more money. So we had things like pads were done, discs were done, Kumo tyres, so 4 new tyres. We had the underside wax oiled. We had quite a bit done initially, but then of course, because this is a K-series engine, well, people that know about the K-series engine know what I'm going to say next, don't you? Reggie had a head gasket done, I think, in 2010. Now, Reggie's got a history pack that thick, and I'm not exaggerating, it's a big history pack of receipts. So people have spent money on this car. And I think it was 2010 that it had a head gasket replacement, but unfortunately, we realised it got a slight weep from the head gasket again. Now luckily that weep was coming outside of the engine rather than inside, so although I'm no mechanic, I do understand that it was better that it was leaking out, not in. So whilst it wasn't really doing any harm to the engine, we knew we were losing a little bit of fluid. £700 later, we had another head gasket, and at the same time, because it was found it needed it, a replacement head itself and new liners. Then, because Reggie has been sitting in a garage too long, come to use him, and we found that the springs, well, they basically had snapped, so it's had a couple of new front springs. I'm trying to think what else it's had done. We had the wheels powder coated. There's a big list of stuff that we've had done on this car, and I guess if I wanted to add it up, and even if I was going to use man maths, which of course always makes a number lower because you don't want to admit how much you've spent on a car, I would think even with man maths, we've probably spent upwards of about £2,600, £2,800 on this car. A car that I spent £900 buying. The way I see it is this. There are people that may have owned this car, if I hadn't bought it, that either because they wouldn't want to do it or because funding wasn't available to them, and I get that, they may not have had the stuff done that I've had done to the car, and the car might have ultimately got scrapped. I'm really chuffed that I've been able to be hopefully a good custodian to Reggie. Obviously some of the stuff I had done didn't have to be done. It was more future proofing. But for me, it's just a case of trying to keep this lovely car on the road. So this particular Rover 75 is a Connoisseur saloon. It's a 2001 Connoisseur saloon. Connoisseur is a good spec if you don't know much about your Rover 75s. It's got leather, heated seats, the seats move electrically. It really is a lovely place to be. There's a 6-disc auto changer, although for some reason it's installed in the glove box, so that kind of all but makes the glove box completely redundant. It's a lovely car. There is one spec higher than the Connoisseur. I think it's Connoisseur SE, and that gains extra luxuries like a blind that comes up on the rear window electronically, and I think it's got memory seats for the electric seats. But either way, it's a beautiful place to sit. And although I'm not going to go through everything that BMW spent money on getting this car right, you can tell that it was built with BMW money. It feels so solid. The shut lines are so nice. The sound of the door shutting is that wonderful quality funk that you would expect from a quality built car. It's got double bulkhead, thicker glass. So I'm talking to you now, and if I wanted to, I could whisper, and I think you'd still hear me. So the engine in this Rover 75 is the 1.8. It's the smallest engine that was available on the Rover 75, and it's not particularly loved by many because it's only got 120 horsepower and they think it's underpowered. I disagree. The Rover 75 was not designed to be some racer. If you wanted to be a racer, you'd buy the one with the V8 engine, wouldn't you? Yes, okay, I would love to have had a KV6, preferably the bigger 2.5 KV6 engine, mated to an automatic gearbox. I think that would suit this car wonderfully. This is a 1.8 with a manual gearbox. So you could argue the smallest and sort of least best option in many people's opinion because it's a manual. But genuinely, it's nice to drive. It's never felt underpowered, even with 4 of us in it. I have no problems with the engine whatsoever, apart, of course, from the head gasket issues that they can suffer. Now, Reggie, as I look down at the dash, is on 57,574 miles, so 57574. That's not a lot of miles for a car that was first registered in 2001, I'm sure you would agree. And as I say, the history pack now for it, particularly since I've owned it, is fantastic. But that's not to say that we've not had further problems, and those problems have been caused because of me. Now, if you've seen this video, you'll know that we've sold our beautiful Volvo S70. A couple of the main reasons of selling that car was, one, it wasn't used. I think I did about 260 miles in 10 months in it, and all those 260 miles was on one trip to visit family travelling from Derbyshire to Bristol. So that's not good. And the other reason was because of the garages that I currently rent. So I rent 4 garages. And initially, like I said in that video, I was all a happy boy because I was like, wow, I've got 4 garages and I can have more cars. It was all good. I was like a proper child, kid in a sweet shop. And the garages are in a nice village. They're in a secure location. I've not had any problems with security whatsoever. It's easy to get to from where I live, and it all seemed good. But unfortunately, certainly 3 of the 4 garages, I've been suffering various differing levels of lack of ventilation, I guess. Because of how they're constructed, you think the car is going to be all lovely and happy, but then if, like me, you've got a few cars, and sometimes those cars therefore sit there for a few months, you end up going there and finding mould is starting to grow. Mould on steering wheel, mould on many of the touch points, as you would expect, mould on the insulation under the bonnet. It got quite horrendous. So like I said in the video, I've reached a point where I've got to slowly get rid of those garages. Yes, I'm going to find some replacements, but in the meantime, I've kind of reducing the fleet a little, because ultimately that helps me get rid of the garages quicker. And there's no point the car sitting in a garage that I'm not happy with. Although I'm paying only a modest fee for these garages, like I say, it's a nice village, secure location. I don't want to be paying out if it's not doing the cars any good. So anyway, how many miles do you think I've done in Reggie in nearly 3.5 years? Anyone want to have a guess? 3,000? 4,000? 5,000 miles? I've done about 600 miles in 3.5 years, which frankly isn't good enough. Not good enough at all. I say I look after cars, but they're not being driven enough. And that's for many reasons. One, because I've got quite a few vehicles and I can only drive one at a time. But also because life gets in the way and there are other things that, you know, you have to do in life, isn't there? So cars, particularly the cars that aren't stored at home, are less likely to go out because ultimately I've also got cars at home, haven't I? So they tend to be the ones that do more miles because they're literally there. Anybody watching this video have the same problem? Do you rent a garage off-site somewhere, and do you find that because you do that, maybe you use that vehicle less? Let me know in the comments below. So of course, if I've only done 600 miles in 3.5 years, the next question is, why hasn't Reggie been on the channel for a while? Well, the reason is, in about 14, 15 months, this car has done less than 20 miles. Now that is inexcusable. And anyone that knows cars will know that is no good for the car whatsoever. I can keep spending money on this car and keeping it looking lovely and future-proofing it all I like, but if I don't take it down the road and give it a good run for, say, an hour, and it's a nice place to sit, so why wouldn't I do that? It's going to be no good for the car, is it? No good for the car at all. Now, my wife Fran loves this car. We made some fun videos driving along in this car. Reggie's been to, I think, 2 or 3 car shows during the time that I've owned him. And I do love him. It's so lovely to drive. It's so smooth. It's so quiet. It's just a wonderful place to be, everyone. But under 20 miles in 15 months, that's not good enough. And unfortunately, the garage that Reggie is stored in is one of the most, shall we say, problem, or the one that's causing the most issues for me. Now, of course, I could swap cars around, but why would I swap a car around? Because it ultimately still means one of my cars is going to be in one of the worst garages, so that's just not going to work, is it? So it's left me with a quandary, and it's a quandary that's not that different to the one with the Volvo S70. Ultimately, I think I've done good by this car, spending the money that many people wouldn't have done. If you want to check the MOT history on this car, you'll know when I owned this car, because all of a sudden there's no advisories. Although, however, and again this is because of lack of use, when I come to finally get Reggie on the road a couple of weeks ago, there was an ABS warning light on, and I was like, oh, here we go. I knew it needed an MOT. You're allowed to drive in the UK with no MOT to a pre-booked MOT station. So I thought, this is going to be interesting. So it was booked in, and as I drove there, the ABS light went off, and I was like, oh, that's good. Maybe it was just a dirty contact or something. So I was all a happy boy again. Pulled up, spoke to Tony at Forge Garage, my trusted garage that I use a lot with my cars. And yes, the ABS light seemed to be playing ball. Unfortunately, when he came to do the MOT, the ABS light came back on, didn't it? So that clean history for this car since I've owned it now shows a fail. And you know, it's completely unimportant, definitely a first world problem, but I hope many people watching this video will agree. I was quite disappointed because it ultimately put a blemish on the record of Reggie since I've owned him. Anyway, of course, the ABS light was fixed, a new sensor was fitted, and Reggie passed, and it's got a clean MOT, which I think is quite commendable. Shows the condition of this car. But I'm going to end this video on a somber note, because I've had to take that difficult decision that Reggie needs to be sold. Now, I wish the new owner every happiness with this car, and I am absolutely certain that the new owner will drive this car more than I have. Let's be honest, it wouldn't be difficult, would it? And it is a sad day for me because, okay, 3.5 years isn't bad, and I think I've said before, in fact I know I've said before on video, everyone, that if I'm going to experience more cars in my life before I depart this world, and I'm going to look after more cars in this life and hopefully improve their condition and the history, etc., then I've got to sell stuff to enable me to do that, because like most people, there's a finite amount of funding, and there is definitely, particularly at the moment with the garages, a finite amount of space to park them. Something's got to give. It's one of my favourite Jack Nicholson films is called. So, unfortunately, it's Reg's turn to be sold. Bye bye, Reg. Bye bye. Let's reveal the new car. It's a Rover, the 75. So looking around the outside of Reggie in his beautiful copper leaf red colour.
That bit there.
Welcome to the pride of Longbridge, which is at Cofton Park. Is my hair alright?
Yeah, hang on, your fringe is just...
In this video, everyone, we're at the Wonderland Classic and Sports Car Show. We finally got to the bottom of it, and yes, unfortunately, it's the dreaded head gasket failure. Reggie cost me a little bit more money. We had the head gasket, as we've already said. A new tensioner again, inlet manifold gasket, of course. It needed a new, second-hand cylinder head, liner shims. What's going on? This is slipping. In this video, everyone, Reggie's out again. Fran's out again, and Fran's got a hot bum. More about that in a moment. Bumper caught the rendering on the house. That strap's refusing to stay up, so for the benefit of the YouTube community, this is not deliberate.
No.
And we're not showing anything.
No.
It's all good.
Yep. No sexiness here.
We don't open for the no sex oaths until 9 AM.
Many hours later.
Reggie's back! And as you can see in the footage now, Reggie's looking absolutely lovely.